Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, buckle up. No, I'm just kidding, but if you're new here, thanks for clicking on the video. You are in for a treat, I hope. I don't know, this video, I really try to keep things organized in order for videos, but my brain is like chaos, so, you know, we'll see what goes down. I had been planning on getting this video out, but I got sick with the flu and it croaked me for a while. That shit was terrible. It put me down for like a whole week, and I'm still like recovering. Like, I'm better, but I still like have the nastiness coming out of my fucking my lungs. I don't know what. Anywho, I decided I wanted to do this photo shoot because I saw Mac, shout out Mac. I love Mac makeup. I have been a Mac girl since the longest. Like, I remember growing up and not being able to like afford their makeup, being so fascinated. And I was like really young anyways, so I was like, why would I have Mac makeup at the moment? But I knew when I got older I was gonna get that shit, and I did, and fell in love even more. Just love their brand. I love their campaigns and their advertisement, and I just love everything Mac. So I saw the campaign being advertised on Instagram one day, and I just really got inspired. I was like, hold up, that idea is, it's giving everything. And it just like sparked this concept in my head, and this is where this concept was born. So I bring it to you guys in my own way and my own interpretation. It's pretty funny because let me give you a little backstory real quick, and then I'm really going to try not to make this video long, but it's going to be a really quick summed up backstory. But so I had commented under the post, and I was like, you know what, I want to give this a shot. Like, I love this idea, I'm going to do it in my own way. Just commenting because I comment. I don't care. I just honestly feel like I'm talking to myself. But Mac had ended up commenting back on the post, which I was really surprised. I didn't think they, like, why would they give a fuck? I didn't think they would. They ended up commenting back and was like, we would love to see that, like, yes, or whatever. Like, they were being super encouraging. And I was like, bet, because I was gonna do it anyways, whether they commented or not. But the encouragement really put me into overdrive, and I was like, yeah, I want to really do this, and I want to go hard for it. And I even tagged them. They didn't see it though. They didn't say anything. They didn't repost. I wish. But regardless, I enjoyed myself, and I enjoyed the concept, and I wanted to give you guys a little like insight to how my photos are taken and how I come up with the concepts, how I edit, kind of just like a little behind the scenes. I had a few people interested in this like kind of video, so I deliver when I see interest. But yeah, so I hope you liked the video. Please like, comment, do that fun shit down below. Thanks for watching, and bye. I'll see you in the next video. Peace. So, like, seeing this watering can is honestly what gave me the idea, like, the inspiration to do this idea. It just really, I don't know, came to me when I was looking at it, and I was like, I want to do a gothic watering can. I went into this wanting the photo shoot to really be whimsical and almost like fairy tale-esque. I just really kind of wanted it to be silly, but at the same time high fashion. And with a watering can, I was like, to really step it up and make it look more high fashion and, avant-garde, I decided to add the Mac logo to it. And the skull just kind of ties in as well, just with the, alternative theme of, I just love gothic punk shit. So, like, we're going to do that regardless. And then I added the little studs. They almost look like polka dots, which I kind of ended up liking. And then, of course, I painted the watering can black because it was originally this really dark green color. Also, for me, I feel like props really add in this just extra element that I really enjoy for a photo shoot. I mean, you don't have to have props in every photo shoot, but for me personally, it's it just adds something, and in most of my photo shoots I plan out tend to have props, so I was really not surprised when this one did as well. And you can actually see hints of the dark green inside the watering can, but it's not noticeable in the photos, so I wasn't bothered by it. And then this is our setup, of course. Gotta have good lighting. I feel like that's a must, and it's very important. You know, I do this all on my own, and I have decent lights, but everything else is on me, so I work with what I have, and that's one main thing. Just be, resourceful. And with this part, I knew I wanted to make the water droplets out of paper and add them in. I just love the real texture of it, so I made those. I cut them out. I used blue and like a grayish white construction paper. And then now we're going to be getting into the editing process. Now, I either edit on my laptop or my phone, or sometimes I do both, but I prefer my phone. It's just more convenient, and I have a few different apps I like. I do recommend just trying ones out and, giving it a spin. It's almost like with a car, you don't just get in the first car you see and, go. I don't know, maybe you do, but test it out, grease the wheels a little bit and just see what works for you, because all editing apps are different. This one I'm using right now is Pixomatic, I believe. And I'm just going in and getting the bumps and lumps and weird parts in the white backdrop that I don't want in the photo, because I didn't want it to be perfectly white. I still wanted there to be texture in the backdrop. I don't usually go for that slate white backdrop. It reminds that look to it. I like texture. I like the grunge effect of it as well. It's just kind of my style of editing, so I only got rid of a few bits. Just get a feel for what you want. This is why I like to say just have a white backdrop, because you can do so much with it. You can transport yourself into other backdrops. You can add textures, layers. It's just start with the blank white drop, because I don't know, it's so hard to explain, but I mean, it's so important to have. But yes, Pixomatic, I highly recommend. And this part, I don't know why I took forever to show this, but this is what I got it to looking like. Saved that, and we have all our different layers. And I also wanted to say I did the version of me in the outfit on a different day than the nude version of me with the umbrella, because I wanted they're two separate characters. I wanted them to have their own moment, so I was like, I need to make sure I can focus on both. And then also going into I believe this was Facetune. I'm just smoothing out some of those jagged parts, because I didn't want the parts to all be jagged. I wanted some smoother. It's almost just messing around with different filters, textures. That's what I mainly do. It's so hard to explain. Okay, so to make this easier too, we're gonna name the clothed version of me Watering Girl, because that's what I'm doing anyways. I'm kind of pissed off. I don't want to be watering this. She's taking the spotlight. I gotta be her little helper. I'm raining on her parade. That's another thing. That's kind of the concept with it too. And then I'm also even kind of smoothing certain things off on the ladder, because the ladder we had some old paint on it. And I mean, you could, if I could have kept it, but I just didn't want to have it there. So I got rid of that. That's why I love Procreate, because you can really just go in there and get the smallest details fixed up. And then another tool that I love is the blending tool. I love to blend different backgrounds. It just gives me a rush, because you never know what you're gonna get when you change the layer. And yeah, I love to blend. That's one of my main things I do. Blend like a maniac if you can. It just really gives something to a photo for me. So I'm just messing around with the different styles, because I didn't know, I knew what I was going for in my head, but I just really kind of wanted to try to bring that to reality. I don't know. Like, I was really just kind of tampering around, trying to see what worked and what didn't work. And also, I will say, when you Photoshop yourself out of any background, really make that shit, like, good. Like, if you have to go in and smooth out the details and stuff, you just have to. But if you have a really solid white backdrop, it should take you perfectly out of it. And that's another reason I like texture, because if there is, for some reason, any issues with getting the clean cut out version of myself, then I know that the textures got my back and they can, like, cover any little mishaps up. But so that's kind of what I'm doing right here. I'm making sure that I look blended. I also wanted to size myself right. That's another thing I was worried about with this photo shoot, is I didn't know if I wanted the watering girl to look bigger than the nude model, or if I wanted her to look smaller, because in the concept, I like in the mindset of it, I was like, okay, it would be whimsical and fairy tale like to make one of them look a little smaller, like dramatically smaller, almost like Alice in Wonderland effect. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. Let's move on. So with this, I just made sure I got the lettering and the font. I think that's the same thing. I'm so stupid. The coloring and the font and everything, I wanted to make sure matched up with the original image. I can list below what kind of font it was. It wasn't hard for me to, like, seek out what font I needed. And then you just kind of mess around with the thickness of the font, because there's this the way they have it in the photo, it is thicker. I just wanted to make sure this was very accurate, so I just kept going back and forth and tampering with it until I got it the way I needed it to be. And it kind of took a minute, but that's what I like. It's a challenge for me. It's fun. This is what I live and breathe. So it doesn't, like, bother me to continue to try to get it as I'm a perfectionist too. Like, I wanted that shit to be as accurate as possible, but we get it as close as we can. I'm only human. Okay, nope, cut that off. Okay, so yeah, that's what I'm basically doing here. And like I said, it did take a minute. I think I was listening to music too while I was doing this part, so it was pretty freaking therapeutic. It was probably like singing to Tyler. Okay, now I'm getting distracted. Going in with our water drop. It's crazy because I thought I can't talk. I thought of the water droplets, like, last minute, like adding them, like, big and dramatic looking. I thought it was so freaking avant-garde and just wacky and just right up my alley. It was a last minute decision, and I'm so glad I went with it, because it adds this element to the photo that I adore. It's one of my favorite parts of the photo, actually. And as you can see, I edited in the nude umbrella girl, the MAC girl. I should call her the MAC girl, that would make sense. So I added her in, and I just basically made sure she was all cleaned up and looked appropriate the way I needed her to be with the watering pail girl. And it's crazy because with the watering pail girl, I decided to kind of, like, only show the body and the arm, like half the body, not as much as me as I thought I was going to use of myself, because I went into it thinking my face was going to be in the photo. I even was, like, making, like, certain, like I was acting. I was getting into my, I don't know, I was getting into my Megan Fox, like that was so random, but I was really going for it. I was giving emotion, and I didn't even use my face for the watering girl, so oh well. Anywho, so I just used the side of me, and I wanted to focus on the can, so I was like, whatever. It fell into place. It ended up working the way it needed to be, but that's one thing I was kind of sad about. I was like, oh, you can't even see, like, the dramatics I was giving. I was, like, really taking it there with the whole, like, concept, but oh well. At least one of me is being shown the faces, and I wanted to make sure that was snatched and just, like given like that, like, I'm a cunt, like, I'm not here to play. So that wasn't hard to do. That's usually the kind of face pose I give off anyways. And then I'm also adding, like, blending these little, like, water droplets too, adding different layers. If you layer certain things, it can give you an effect, like I said, that you wouldn't believe. It can really change up how something looks, and I think you should do it. Just do it. It just mess around with it. It just, I don't know, it hits. And when it comes to the photo shoots I plan out, I really want to feel like I'm super engaged with the concept, and I want to feel one with the scene, if that makes sense. I try to utilize the props. I really just try to get lost into the art of it, and just get lost in the reason of, like, why I decided to create that concept, if that makes sense. Alright, and this is the final concept brought to life by me, Dad, sad dad. I don't know. Enjoy the process, enjoy the art, don't question it too much. Also, I really hope YouTube does not take this video down. Like, I'm not in my birthday suit. Like, I am, but, like, I'm covering myself. YouTube, do not take this down.